Welcome to the live watch along of Southampton versus Arsenal in the FA Cup fourth round. We're going to be taking you through the 90 minutes. We're going to be getting your thoughts, views, comments, all in the live chat box. And fingers crossed, Arsenal progress to the next round where they will, if they get through, face Wolverhampton Wanderers.
You're listening to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast.
I'm Martin Tyler, and you're listening to Harry Symeou.
Hello and welcome back to this live edition of the Chronicles of a Gooner. It's our live watch along of Southampton versus Arsenal in the FA Cup fourth round. First of all, give me a little thumbs up in the chat if the audio is coming through to you all loud and clear. You can't hear the crowd effects yet because the game has not begun, but we'll be putting that back on as well for today's show. Lots of positive feedback around that last time, so thank you for that. Big hello to all our members in the live chat and to everybody else as well who is joining us. Let's kick off by looking at the two starting lineups. Let's begin with the host Southampton. They've gone really, really strong. And I wrote a piece for 90 Min yesterday in which I shared my predicted lineups. And I went with basically exactly Southampton's lineup, bar one player. So they've not disappointed. Ralph Hasenhüttl's gone strong. Ralph Hasenhüttl feels that this is a competition I'm sure that his Southampton side could win. Remember, Southampton have only ever won the FA Cup once before in their history. So this is a very important game to them. And when their league form is not quite at its best, this will probably prove a good distraction for Ralph's side. So let's quickly run through their side. It's Fraser Forster in goal. It's a back four of Kyle Walker-Peters, Jan Bednarek, Jack Stevens, and Ryan Bertrand. In midfield, it's Stuart Armstrong, Ibrahima Diallo, James Ward-Prowse, and Theo Walcott. And up front, it's Danny Ings and Che Adams. Of course, Danny Ings returning to the side, having just recovered from COVID-19. For Arsenal, 7 changes to the side that won against Newcastle on Monday night. And we expected the changes. I picked my side, which I shared the post from 90 Min in yesterday, and I only got one player wrong, and that player was Rob Holding. I didn't think Rob Holding would start. I thought that David Luiz would probably continue with the view to playing Rob Holding on Tuesday night when we play Southampton again. But this is what Mikel Arteta has gone with. Bernd Leno in goal. Back four of Hector Bellerin, Rob Holding, Gabriel and Cedric. He comes in at left back today. A lot of us have called for it, and I think the fact that Ainsley Maitland-Niles played so poorly the last time out probably means that Mikel Arteta has decided that Cedric will probably be a better option. Of course, playing against the side he knows very well as well in his former club, Southampton. Midfield pivot of Granit Xhaka and Mohamed El Neni. Look, I didn't want to risk Thomas Partey today. We got a massive game coming up on Tuesday. And as I mentioned to you guys on the show yesterday, and as I tweeted earlier on, if Arsenal are to progress today through to the next round of the FA Cup, including this one between now and the end of February, Arsenal will be required to fulfill 11 fixtures. It's a lot of games. There are going to be changes, and when we're talking about key players like Thomas Partey, you simply cannot take the risk with their fitness. So in that case, it's Granit Xhaka partnering Mohamed El Neni in the midfield. Eddie Nketiah leads the line, and the kind of attacking trio behind him are Gabriel Martinelli from the left, Nicolas Pepe from the right, and Willian in the number 10 role. There is no Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the squad today. We've been told that he's had a personal issue and he has been sent back. We don't know exactly what's going on, but, you know, personal issue could mean anything. It could be to do with his family, it could be to do with his kids. So let's not speculate. Let's not jump to conclusions. I didn't really want him to be involved today anyway, but fingers crossed everything is all well and good for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in whatever has occurred behind the scenes. So Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang not involved. Neither is Emile Smith-Rowe. He's been left at home, rested, as has Kieran Tierney. Looking at Arsenal's substitutes bench, Alex Renarson is on there, but as is the new boy, Matty Ryan. He is also on the substitutes bench. The rest of the bench includes Callum Chambers, David Luiz, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, Bukayo Saka, Alexander Lacazette, and Thomas Partey. On Southampton's bench, it's Harry Lewis, Jan Valery, Jake Vokins, Shane Long, Daniel Lundulu, Kane Ramsey, Kagiolo Chauke, I've butchered that one completely, haven't I? Alexander Yankovic, and Caleb Watts. Let's get you guys' thoughts on the starting lineup. How do you rate Mikel Arteta's starting lineup out of 10? What do you think of it? Are you happy with it? Are you pleased with it? Let us know in the comments section below. Gooner says, Cedric at left back. Perhaps Arteta is a fan of the channel. Yeah, maybe. Love that. Peter Rand on the lineup says this could benefit us next week. Yeah, it could do. I think we have to understand, as much as we love the FA Cup, and I really, really do love the FA Cup, we have to understand that it's not quite our priority this season. European qualification via the league or via the Europa League, I think, is the priority. And that's why Mikel Arteta has made changes. We needed to make changes because of the sheer volume of games that we have coming up. And I know a lot of people are looking at this team and thinking, it's a little bit... there's too many changes. It will disrupt the flow. The players that have been pivotal to us turning our game around, with the exception of a couple of late, have all been left out. But I think Mikel Arteta has got his hands tied behind his back right now. I really, really do. Some of you asking about Danny Ceballos in the chat. John P says, no, Danny, not even on the bench. Do you think he's off? No, I don't. Danny Ceballos was a fitness doubt for this game anyway. He was always going to be assessed ahead of the game. He wasn't completely fit, suffered an injury last week. That's why he missed the game against Newcastle in the Premier League as well. It was always very touch and go whether Danny Ceballos was going to be available today. So I'm not surprised to see him not in the team. Rancid rates the team 7 out of 10. John says 5 out of 10. We need Martinelli to have a blinder. Graham Sutherland says, I hate the front line with the exception of Martinelli. Lucas Hultgren asks, where is Reece Nelson? No idea. Not sure if it signifies that Reece Nelson could be off, but he has been another one who suffered with injury problems for a while now. Is this a sign of what his future holds? We don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Gooner says, happy enough with the team, but we need big performances from Pepe and Willian in particular. Excited to see Martinelli start. Harry Land calls it a decent lineup. He says, suppose if we do qualify, we'd have to rotate heavily in the next round. So hopefully the boys will do the business. Remember, Gooners, if we don't win, let's try to keep the positive vibes. Steve Stone says, understand the need for changes. We have to protect our top players. Completely agree with that. Rory says, frontline is terrible with the exception of Martinelli. I don't mean to be negative, but can't stand seeing Willian in that lineup. Now, I put out a kind of preview piece yesterday, right? And I said it in the podcast actually as well. I said that I didn't fancy Arsenal today. I said that I expected Mikel Arteta to rotate heavily. I picked the team. I was wrong with one position, Rob Holding. I picked David Luiz. Other than that, the team I picked was exactly the team that Mikel Arteta has picked today. And the reason I say that is because I understand that there is a massive need for changes. I understand that Mikel was always likely to do this, was always likely to shuffle the pack because of the importance of those Premier League games coming up. We've got Southampton on Tuesday, which is never going to be easy. And we've got Manchester United on Saturday. So lots of big games to come. And aside from that, aside from the kind of need for changes, it's just one of those things where we've got to start prioritizing stuff. You can't win everything, and you can't do that in the best of seasons, let alone a season now where everything is really sort of, condensed and all the games are sort of coming thick and fast. There isn't much turnaround time. There isn't much break. It's an absolute nightmare for managers. And that's why we have to rotate the squad and we have to make the most of it. Willian, he's got to come good eventually. Hopefully today is that day. Thomas Partey, same for Nicolas Pepe, I should say. Same for him. He needs to prove himself. Gabriel Martinelli will be wanting to prove himself. These players have a point to prove. Eddie Nketiah has played very, very little football for Arsenal of late. Now is the time to show what you can do, Eddie. This is the thing. These players haven't delivered up until now, but we need them to at some point. And fingers crossed, today will be that day. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're pushing towards our next target now. Having reached 11,500, we want to get to 12,000 sooner rather than later. So I'm going to set us a target of about a month to do that. Let's try and get there as soon as possible. Don't forget, if you're watching us on any of the other platforms, Facebook, Twitter, retweet it, like it, share it, do what you got to do. Let's get as many people joining us for this game. Kickoff is fast approaching at St Mary's, around about 5 minutes away. Don't forget as well, if you want to become a member of the Chronicles of a Gooner, you can click on the link in the description and that will take you to the page where there are details on our membership scheme. Arsenal players in the tunnel, getting ready to come out onto the playing surface here at St Mary's. It's always a good playing surface, to be fair. Kind of completely forgot the point I was making before and I didn't even finish it. I just went on to something else. But what I was saying is, when I was making the prediction of Arsenal to narrowly lose this game, that's not me being negative. If you want me to predict what I want to happen, then it's not a prediction, is it? Got a lot of stick in the comments last night for that. But as I said, if you want me to predict what I think is going to happen, then that isn't a prediction, is it? That is what I'd like to happen, which is always obviously going to be an Arsenal win. Arsenal players making their way out onto the pitch now. Just let me know if the audio is coming through loud and clear at your end. As I say, using a new setup is only my second time of using it, and I'm not sure how good it is necessarily in terms of the quality. So just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're happy with it. If it's all coming through good, you should get the effects filtering through now. The players making their way out onto the pitch. Of course, Theo Walcott, former Arsenal man. He's stung us before, has Theo Walcott. Scored in the league game earlier this season. Scored at the Emirates Stadium. Celebrated the goal as well. Lots and lots of people were upset, disappointed by that. But he plays for Southampton. Southampton's a club he loves. Remember, Southampton's the club that he started at. It's not an issue for me to see players celebrating against their former clubs. I just don't get it. All of you saying in the chat that it's loud and clear. Thank you so much. And Thomas says he's not watching, just listening to this. Reminds me of the good old times radio coverage up the Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. And as a radio commentator, I will do my best to tell you the story of what is unfolding here at the Emirates Stadium as best as possible. Let's quickly run through that Arsenal side once more. Bernd Leno in goal. Hector Bayer in, Rob Holding, Gabriel and Cedric Suarez are the back four. Mohamed El Neni and Granit Xhaka are the midfield pivot, with Willian ahead of them, Nicolas Pepe operating from the right flank, Gabriel Martinelli from the left, and Eddie Nketiah is leading the line. Big hello to Alfred J as well joining us, and to Pete Rant as well in the live chat. Hope you're all well. Let's quickly run through that Southampton side one more time. Fraser Forster in goal, back four, Carl Walker-Peters, Jan Bednarek, Jack Stevens, and Ryan Bertrand. Midfield is Stuart Armstrong, Ibrahima Diallo, James Ward-Prowse and Theo Walcott. And the front two are Danny Ings and Che Adams. Come on, you Gunners. Arsenal in their changed strip today, of course. Southampton playing red and white, so wouldn't have been much use in us turning up in that kit. But the two teams are going to switch sides. Not sure whose decision that was to switch it over. One end of the pitch will lead to the goalkeeper having the sun in his eyes, but I don't know if that will change as the game goes on. Southampton in a huddle in the middle of the pitch. Arsenal players looking focused. Willian needs to have a big game today. Willian just there on your pictures. He really, really needs to put in a solid performance. He really needs to prove to the Arsenal fans that signing him wasn't a mistake. Ralph Hasenhüttl and Mikel Arteta just sharing an embrace there down by their touchline. Two managers who have a lot of respect for one another. You can just tell by their pre-match interviews. I've got a lot of respect for Ralph Hasenhüttl as well, and respect for Southampton, because if you cast your mind back to when they suffered that massive defeat against Leicester City, I think it was at the beginning of last season, they could have very easily pulled the trigger on Ralph Hasenhüttl. They didn't. They've stuck with him. And now they're getting the results. Of course, Southampton above Arsenal in the Premier League table at present. Players take to the knee in support of the Black Lives Matter campaign. And we are underway here at St Mary's. It's Southampton versus Arsenal. If you want to try and sync our commentary up with the time, you've got the clock there on the screen. Fraser Forster clears it long. I think it's a couple of seconds out from the TV one, but it'll give you a good enough indication. Here's Carl Walker-Peters. Now Jack Stevens at the back for Southampton. Fraser Forster plays it out to Bednarek, just to the right of his penalty area, chips it forward into the direction of Danny Ings, helps it on to Che Adams, but Rob Holding's there to clear up. Guides it back to Bernd Leno. Plays it out to Gabriel at left centre-back. He's miscontrolled that, Gabriel. Stuart Armstrong's let it go out for a Southampton throw-in on this near side. Southampton's right. It's in line with our penalty spot pretty much. Rare bit of miscontrol there from Gabriel, but he will be a bit rusty. This is his first game back since recovering from COVID-19. Had a really good start to the season, Gabriel. Shown a lot of promise. I think most Arsenal fans will be happy with what they've seen from him since he joined the club. Here is Diallo in midfield for Southampton. Just chips it forward. Gabriel will take it down out of the air. Does well to hold off the Southampton man, but the referee has adjudged him to have fouled Danny Ings. There was a bit of a flailing arm there from Gabriel. Just having another look at it. Again, it was a bit of rusty control from Gabriel, and he just put his arm out, didn't he, to try and protect the ball. He just caught Danny Ings in the face there. It's nothing more than a foul, in my opinion. I don't even think... I certainly don't think it was intentional whatsoever, but Southampton have a free kick off the back of that. A couple of minutes on the clock here at St Mary's. It's a little bit far, you'd think, for James Ward-Prowse to try and beat Bernd Leno, but we'll give him an opportunity to put the ball into the penalty area, into the mixer for Southampton. James Ward-Prowse to deliver this. Right-footed, puts it into the penalty area. It's going to be met by a Southampton player at the far post. No, it wasn't, because Bernd Leno got there just in time. Throws it out quickly to Willian. He goes back to Gabriel at left centre-back for Arsenal. Back to Leno. Leno's early release of the ball you felt was going to set Arsenal off on a counter-attack, but they've been forced back. Southampton pressing very high, very aggressively. Here's El Neni. Gives it away. Here's James Ward-Prowse. Plays it out to the left for Ryan Bertrand, the man who's been heavily linked with a move to Arsenal at the moment. Ball comes into the box. It's turned behind the goal by Cedric, who's playing at left back today. As you were saying, Ryan Bertrand said to be someone Arsenal considering as a backup left back. Pete Rant is asking why keep two keepers on the bench. I think Aubameyang was due to be on the bench, Pete. But as we know, he's been sent home because of a personal issue. And that might explain why. Southampton with the first corner of the game from their right-hand side. It's going to be James Ward-Prowse. In it comes. It's a weird delivery, a flat delivery, met by Danny Ings at the near post, but it's well wide from Ings. They'll be thrilled to have him back. Tested positive for the coronavirus, Danny Ings. Hasn't played a lot of football lately. Returned to training this week and has been selected by Ralph Hasenhüttl for this one. It's going to be another Southampton corner after Ings' effort took a deflection. In it comes. James Ward-Prowse hits the crossbar. Almost caught Bernd Leno out there, James Ward-Prowse. I don't even know if he meant it, but he kind of drove the ball into the penalty area, and it ended up coming off of the top of Bernd Leno's post. Had a weird spin on it, that ball. I think it's actually, just having a quick look, I think it comes off the, no, it's off the crossbar. It's off the crossbar. Could have easily crept in that. Ward-Prowse is going to take another corner for Southampton, this time from the left-hand side. Arsenal need to ride the storm here. Southampton applying some early pressure. In comes another delivery. This time Gabriel gets a strong, powerful head to it. Here's Carl Walker-Peters, puts it back into the penalty area for Southampton, gathered by Bernd Leno, who releases it quickly, and Arsenal look to spring a counter-attack. Here's Eddie Nketiah, just caught up with by Jan Bednarek. It's going to be an Arsenal throw on the left, midway inside Southampton's half. Arsenal really having to ride the early storm here at St Mary's. We knew Southampton were going to start fast. We know they're a high-intensity, high-press side. It's the Ralph Hasenhüttl way. And Arsenal need to keep composed in these early stages as Gabriel plays a ball out to the left-hand side. Martinelli's going to chase it. Will he get there ahead of Carl Walker-Peters? He does really well to recover the ball. Plays it slightly infield to Willian. He's got Cedric overlapping on the left. Instead, Willian cuts inside. Goes beyond James Ward-Prowse and lays it off to Granit Xhaka. It's forced back to the halfway line where Rob Holding will pick it up and then sprays it back out to the left, but the pass is overhit. Cedric unable to get the ball down. Gives Holding a thumbs up for the idea, but the execution of the pass certainly wasn't up to standard. Don't forget, if you're watching us live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. It's very, very much appreciated. Carl Walker-Peters to take the throw-in. Southampton have it inside their own half now, and they're looking to spring a counter-attack. Here's Ryan Bertrand now, coming forward on the left-hand side, crosses the halfway line. He's got Nicolas Pepe for company. It's with Theo Walcott now on the left, into the feet of Bertrand. Walcott will continue his run. Always a goal threat is Theo Walcott, no doubt about that. Here's Bertrand. Takes it out of the air brilliantly. He's just to the left of Arsenal's penalty area. Puts the ball into the box. El Neni gets some contact on it. If he didn't, he certainly got in the way of Stuart Armstrong, who'd made the run into the penalty area. It looks like it's going to be an Arsenal goal kick in the end. No, it's come off El Neni. It's certainly come off Mohamed El Neni. It's going to be a corner, and that's the right decision. Southampton corner from their left-hand side. Another opportunity. No, it's a goal kick. That's what I thought. I said the referee had given a goal kick, but it clearly came off of Mohamed El Neni. It must have been the free kick given against Armstrong for maybe a little bit of a nudge in the back of El Neni. Apologies. When you're commentating on a TV game, you're a victim of the pictures that you get, unfortunately. Southampton now have a free kick inside their own half after the offside flag went up against Mikel Arteta's side. Some of you asking where the Xhaka figurine is. It is here somewhere. Here it is. There you go. Do not fear, the Xhaka figurine is here. 8 minutes into this one. Southampton certainly making all the early running. Ball's with Bernd Leno now inside his 6-yard box. Plays it out to the left where Cedric will pick it up. He'll drive forward for the Gunners. Plays it into Martinelli. Forced back into his own half though. It's with Cedric again. Just plays it square to Gabriel. Willian dropping into a slightly deeper position to get on the ball. Of all the Arsenal players, and I'm not saying he's been great, but of all the Arsenal players, actually Willian has looked quite lively so far, and you don't often say that, do you? Here's Cedric on the left, approaching the halfway line for Arsenal. Into the feet of Martinelli. Cedric gets it back, of course, more comfortable driving in on that right foot of his. Plays a ball in behind for Nicolas Pepe to chase. Ryan Bertrand was alert to it. He's ended up conceding a corner. It's going to be Arsenal's first of the game. Not sure whether Cedric's pass was intended to be in behind Ryan Bertrand the way it was, but it was into that space in between Forster and Bertrand. And in the end, the left-back had to deal with it. Arsenal have themselves a corner now, their first of the game. Nicolas Pepe is going to be the man to take it. Gabriel's forward, as is Holding. Holding's been good at getting on the end of stuff, but he's been unable to convert those opportunities, much to the frustration of the Arsenal fans recently. Pepe puts in a delivery, met at the near post by a Southampton head, and Theo Walcott will look to spring a counter-attack for the Saints. Looks to go past Bellerin, but his former teammate is having none of it. Bellerin's won it. It's going to be an Arsenal throw on the right, just inside Southampton's half. Here's Holding now in possession for Arsenal. Now Gabriel. So far, Southampton have had 66% of the possession. Just signs, though, that Arsenal are starting to settle down a little bit, starting to get on the ball a little bit more. We knew that with the number of changes Mikel Arteta made today, there was going to be a little bit of a disruption to the fluency we've seen in recent weeks. No Emile Smith-Rowe, no Bukayo Saka. Two players who have been key to Arsenal's resurgence. No Alexander Lacazette either. He's on the bench today. And if you're joining us a little bit late, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang not involved today. He's been sent home due to a personal matter. Here comes Cedric. I don't know what he's doing here. He's in the number 10 position, Cedric. Plays it left to Gabriel Martinelli. Always going to look to cut in on that right foot. Tries to get a shot away. It's blocked. Eventually helps it on to Mohamed El Neni. Here's Hector Bellerin now. Arsenal squeezing Southampton back into their own half. Willian puts a low cross in. Cut out at the near post by Stevens. And then Bertrand and Armstrong between them will work it away. Gabriel just getting on the end of that before Che Adams, who was hanging around on the halfway line there for Southampton, looking for something to break his way. Big hello to everybody watching us in the live chat right now. Interesting to see Cedric take up that position, though, that he did just a few minutes ago. We talk a lot about the inverted fullbacks in this kind of system, and he did really, really well there to get into a good position as Willian puts a cross into the box. It'll fall to Cedric on the edge of the box. Cedric fires over the bar. That will go down as a chance. That was a really good chance for Cedric Suarez. Again, drifting infield. Again, getting into that inverted position. Gabriel Martinelli tucking in, creating the space for Cedric. Willian's cross was a decent one. It come off the defender's foot, fell right to the edge of the box for Cedric. He had time. He took a touch, but the ball was bouncing and he just got too much on it. You feel it's gone over the bar. Really good opportunity for Arsenal. And for all the pressure and for all the play that Southampton had in that early, 5-6 minutes, actually the best opportunity so far has fallen Arsenal's way. And that would have been a story, wouldn't it? Cedric against his former club. El Neni helps this on. Good touch from Eddie Nketiah to create some space. Finds Martinelli now. Said Arsenal were growing into this. They certainly have done in the last few minutes. Here's Granit Xhaka. Out to the left for Martinelli. He's got Cedric on the overlap. Here's Gabriel at centre-back. Now it's with Rob Holding. Into Nketiah. Does well to hold off 2-3 Southampton challenges there. Here's Gabriel on the halfway line. Sprays it out to the left. Cedric's come forward again. He's been brilliant so far. He was really, really good, wasn't he, against Newcastle on Monday as well. He's lost out here, though, to Carl Walker-Peters. Here's Diallo out to the right-hand side where Theo Walcott's taken up position. Plays a nice ball down the line to Che Adams. He'll run at Gabriel here. Knocks it past Gabriel. Che Adams with an opportunity. Good effort. Good save from Bernd Leno down to his right-hand side. A really, really good stop from the German. Really good stop. But Gabriel just looks so rusty today. I know he's been out for a while. I know the COVID virus can take its toll on you physically, but Che Adams has literally just knocked the ball around Gabriel there on the edge of the penalty area, ran round the other side, got there, puts a good effort towards the far corner. It's low, and it's a really good stop by Bernd Leno with his right hand, keeping us in the game. Well, keeping us on level terms, at least for now. I spoke about Cedric having the best opportunity of the game, but no more than a couple of minutes later, Southampton go down the other end, create one of their own. Lewis Cooper says Leno's going to be our man of the match. Steve Stone saying, what a save. Seriously concerned, though, about what we're seeing from Gabriel at centre-back so far. I know, look, I've had the virus. I know how draining it can be. But he just looks so off the pace in these early stages. Just hope it's not going to come and bite us in the arse. Arsenal with a free kick now midway inside Southampton's half, which Willian is going to take. He's got a chance to put the ball into the penalty area here. All the big boys are forward. It's a clever free kick. It's into Gabriel Martinelli. He's completely miskicked it. It was a really clever piece of play between Gabriel Martinelli and Willian. They were on the same wavelength there. Caught out the whole of the Southampton defence. It was a deep run from Martinelli. But the ball coming over your shoulder like that is difficult enough to get a clean strike, let alone on your weaker left foot. But when that chance came to fruition, when that chance materialised, you felt that Gabriel Martinelli was going to put it in the back of the net. He's certainly got the ability to do that. Really frustrating. You're just seeing a little bit of a switch of positions as well at the moment between Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah. He's just tucked slightly infield Martinelli. Nketiah just sitting on the left-hand side at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how fluid that will be throughout this game. 16 minutes on the clock here at St Mary's in this FA Cup fourth round tie between Southampton and Arsenal. Arsenal, of course, 14-time winners. Southampton have won it just once in their history up until now. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. It is so important. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Here comes Southampton on the attack again. It's with Ings. Finds Walcott to his right. Walcott from the edge of the box. It's wide of Bernd Leno's goal. It was always curling wide as well. No real danger to the Germans' net there, but we know that Theo Walcott is capable of finding the back of the net. We saw him do it enough times for Arsenal throughout his career. As frustrating as he was at times, his goal-scoring record was pretty impressive. Big hello to Wesbird. Thank you so much for your kind words. I hope you guys are all enjoying the watch-along so far, even if the game isn't quite going the way we'd like it. Big hello to Nimsy Lot as well. Thank you for your kind words, mate. Really appreciate it. Some of you asking whether Pepe has contributed to this game just yet. Certainly hasn't, has he? He's been very quiet out on that right-hand side. Mikel Arteta will no doubt be hoping he can impact the game somewhere along the line, but it just hasn't happened yet. Here comes Southampton driving forward again. Rob Holding getting an important footing. Here's Pepe now on the right flank for Arsenal. Goes past his man. Looks to step inside a second one, but Danny Ings was back defending there. Arsenal will have a throw-in on the right-hand side. Here's Xhaka in the midfield. Plays it to Bellerin. Goes back to Rob Holding. He's got Gabriel and plenty of space to his left. Lays it off to the Brazilian. As I said, looks a little rusty today. Here's Willian now on the left-hand side. He's been lively today, Willian, to be fair to him. And he gets a lot of stick and most of it is justified. But today he's been very lively as Martinelli looks to go past Walker-Peters. He's so tenacious, isn't he, Gabriel Martinelli? Reminds me of a Luis Suarez. South American, I should say, bite. Really does have it. So excited about what the future holds for Martinelli. But it is still early days. Here is Bellerin winning the ball back after Southampton look to try and play Che Adams in on the left. It's back with Carl Walker-Peters at right back. He squares it to Jan Bednarek. Bertrand plays a ball forward. I think he anticipated a run there from Stuart Armstrong, a run that never came. And the ball's back at the feet of Bernd Leno. Don't forget, if you want to become a member of the Chronicles of a Gooner channel and support us to bring you more Arsenal content, get access to our member-only content, get access to a number of other benefits and perks as well, all you need to do is click on the link in the description of this video. You can check out the 3 tiers available and decide which, if any, of those appeal to you. Here's Gabriel at left centre-back. Ball played forward towards Gabriel Martinelli. Out comes Fraser Forster from the goal, and he puts it out for an Arsenal throw-in. Here is Cedric. Thank you to Anthony Myers. Cedric's kept this alive here. He's coming down the left for Arsenal. Puts in a low cross, but it's going to hit the side netting. Always going to be difficult for Cedric playing on his wrong side, but I think up until now, he's given a very good account of himself. He's certainly been more useful than Ainsley Maitland-Niles was in that game against Crystal Palace. You know, I completely accept that Maitland-Niles had an off day that day. It's not usually been that bad when playing in that position. But that performance was so poor. And Mikel felt the need to try something different this time around. Here's Xhaka in midfield, helps it on to Willian. Nice touch and looks to play a ball out to the right-hand side. It was blocked, though, by the referee of all people. He's going to pull up the play as a result of that. He was trying to set Willian off, trying to set Pepe off, making a run down that right-hand side, but the referee just got his body in the way. Plays resumed now. It's with Cedric on the left, just inside Southampton's half. Here's Xhaka on the halfway line. It's now with Rob Holding. Big hello to Talau as well, joining us for the first time on one of our watch-alongs. Welcome, mate. Here's Ryan Bertrand for Southampton at left back. Plays it infield to Diallo. It's with Bednarek now, the centre back. He'll look to carry the ball forward. Finds Walker-Peters now on the right, just inside Arsenal's half. Here's Diallo now in the centre circle for the Saints. Finds James Ward-Prowse before he plays it straight back to Diallo. What's it going to be? It's going to be a Southampton throw-in on that left-hand side by the looks of it. Here's Bertrand now on the left. Looks to put one into the penalty area. Just cut out by Hector Bellerin. Southampton will have another throw-in. This time in line with the edge of our 6-yard box on their left-hand side. Thank you, Peter. Bellerin gets it clear. And Nketiah will try and bring it away even further for Arsenal. But he's got 3-4 Southampton bodies every time he gets on the ball. They're so good at hunting people down, aren't they? Southampton, particularly in the opposition half. They're always looking to win the ball back high up the pitch. You'd imagine that's what Mikel Arteta will want to see from his side in the future. It's just unfortunate at this moment in time. He probably isn't blessed with the personnel that can do that necessarily. Holding almost gives it away. He's a bit lucky there because Armstrong's miscontrol means Arsenal have a throw-in at right back. El Neni under pressure from Diallo here. Loses the ball. You can't lose the ball there. Here's Ings on the edge of the box. Finds James Ward-Prowse. He plays it to the right now. Carl Walker-Peters inside the Arsenal penalty area. Puts it low into the box. It's come off the foot of Gabriel. It's squeezed under Bernleno, and Southampton lead at St Mary's. It's Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. It's a terrible goal to concede. People will blame Gabriel for getting a foot on that and it eventually squeezing under Bernleno. But for me, Mohamed El Neni, you cannot give the ball away in that position. Hector Bellerin is telling him as well. He's making it known. Even after Danny Ings' miscue pass, Southampton kept the move alive. Here was Carl Walker-Peters. He got into the penalty area, drove it low across the penalty area. Gabriel just gets a foot on it, and he's in his attempts to prevent the ball going through. He's slightly diverted it. It's gone under Bernleno, and it's gone in off of that post. Unlucky on Gabriel's part. Nothing Bernleno could have done about it. The mistake and the real issue there came from Mohamed El Neni. Just dwelled on the ball when he received it in that right back area, and from then on, Arsenal were in trouble. It's Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. It's going to be given as a Gabriel own goal. And I said to you, didn't I, right at the start of the game, look, I don't necessarily blame him for that. He's got to try and do something as a defender. But Gabriel has looked a little rusty today. El Neni, we know his limitations. It's been a problem for us in these early stages. Unlucky. We go again. Just 25 minutes on the clock here. Plenty of time for Arsenal to turn this around. I love this comment from Edward. He says, can I just say our fans will be calling for Xhaka to be deported if he lost it there? Yeah, absolutely. Be interesting to see whether Mohamed El Neni gets the same kind of criticism. You know, not that I want to see Arsenal players criticised to the point where it's bordering on abuse. But it'll be interesting to see the reaction to that, because there's no doubt in my mind that that whole goal, the whole problem stemmed from Mohamed El Neni's poor play in that position. It's an own goal that will go down against Gabriel. And as I said, he's not the real culprit here. He stuck a leg out to try and cut out the cross. Often when the ball is played in at that pace, it's instinctive to do that, isn't it? And sometimes you're lucky and it goes wide of the post and you can see the corner. Sometimes you're not, and it squirms under the goalkeeper like it did that time and gives your opponent the lead. 26 minutes. Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. The current cup holders are in a bit of trouble here. Here's Armstrong now for Southampton. Gets it back from Ward-Prowse and plays it left to Ryan Bertrand. Ward-Prowse will pick it up and looks to drive in field here. Thinks about the shot from distance. James Ward-Prowse is wide of Bernd Leno's goal. We know he's capable of scoring from distance. Bit of a set-piece specialist as well is James Ward-Prowse, but fortunately for Arsenal, that was always bending wide. Let's go through some of your comments. Matt G says it was unlucky. Clement says Nketiah has been poor today. Wesbird totally agrees on the El Neni thing. Says he works hard, but he's not really good enough. Completely agree with that. T-Talks says that Gabriel is struggling so far. I think he's been knocked for 6 by COVID. And I can understand that. I really, really can. And as I said, I know he's made a couple of mistakes early on in this game. But I still think for the goal, he's extremely unlucky there. Gooner says we need more from Pepe. This is woeful from him. He has to get more involved somehow. Nimsy Lot says, how dare Arteta start such a dead team in our cup? Here comes Southampton on the attack once more down the right-hand side. Carl Walker-Peters just checks it back. Ward-Prowse whips one in. It's met by the head of Cedric, but it falls to Danny Ings. Shot deflected. It's going to end up going wide of the goal. It's going to be a Southampton corner. But Danny Ings had all the time in the world there to take a touch and get his shot away. That's a problem for Arsenal. The header from Cedric was such a poor one. Arsenal feel they should have had a free kick in the build-up. It certainly looked like Diallo fouled Willian. But after the free kick wasn't given, you've got to defend better than that. Hector Bellerin, to be fair to him, putting his body in the way there of Danny Ings' shot. That's why it ended up going wide. That's why Southampton have another corner. They've certainly been the better side here. Arsenal, apart from that chance that sell to Cedric and that clever free kick between Willian and Martinelli, haven't offered anything else. In comes a delivery from the right. James Ward-Prowse. His corner's headed away by Holding, and it's struck back towards goal by Ryan Bertrand, but it's high, it's wide. Gives Arsenal a bit of a breather. 29 minutes on the clock here. Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. I know the score is not going the way we'd like it, but make sure you hit that like button on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. We'll be bringing you plenty more of these watch-alongs as well as lots of other Arsenal content on a daily basis. Here's El Neni on the halfway line into Pepe's feet. Nice bit of skill to get away from Stevens. Here's Nketiah on the right into Willian. Looks to cut one back across goal. Pepe has it on the corner of the penalty area now. Does well to get out of that difficult situation. Bellerin puts one into the box and Nketiah looks to take it down on his chest. But again, the control, the touch wasn't up to standard and Southampton can break away. Lots of you calling for Lacazette and Thomas Partey to be introduced. You might well see that if things don't take a turn for the better, as Cedric puts a good ball into the box, but it's got too much on it. Too much for Martinelli and Nketiah anyway, who had made their way into the penalty area. Mikel Arteta won't be happy with what he's seen so far. There's no doubt about that. It feels like there are more Southampton players on the pitch. I know that's a really stupid thing to say. But whenever an Arsenal player gets the ball, automatically there are 3-4 Southampton bodies within close proximity, closing them down, hassling them, trying to win the ball back. And when you look at this Arsenal side, you don't see any of that. You see a Southampton side who are able to keep possession pretty comfortably for the most part. And most crucially, they've been able to do things on the edge of our penalty area, in and around that part of the pitch. Arsenal are not defending well enough. And when you're not defending well enough and you go and make stupid mistakes like Mohamed El Neni did, what chance do you stand against a very high quality Southampton side? A little bit more of a press from Arsenal that time. Eddie Nketiah going and closing down Fraser Forster, but you're giving him a goal kick. Doesn't really benefit us in any way, does it? Better off letting him play the ball forward and probably stand a higher chance of winning it back aerially, as Holding makes a header there, but it's picked up by Diallo in midfield for Southampton. Diallo is a central midfield player, but he's very in tune with Southampton's left back. You know, he allows Bertrand to go forward and he fills in that position so well. Here's Walker-Peters on the right, skips inside Martinelli, finds Walcott, who just made the overlapping run, but the ball just got stuck there a little bit. It's into the box towards Armstrong. Cedric defending well. Willian and Martinelli causing some issues for Southampton in the middle of the park. Willian plays it left to Martinelli. The pass was just behind him, but Willian did well initially there. Let's see what some of you guys are saying. Matt G says, I hope Odegaard isn't watching this. Yeah, me too. Lewis Cooper says, I think we should do a January sale for Pepe. 50% off. Kartik Joshi says, Mohamed El Neni is not a footballer. Let's be honest. He's just there to occupy space on the field. Certainly a lot of players on the pitch wearing Arsenal shirts today that have points to prove. Willian being one of them. And I think he's probably been one of the brightest players without actually doing anything, if that makes sense. Which tells you actually a lot about, you know, how this game has gone for Arsenal so far. It's not been a great start. You can't deny that Southampton probably deserve to be in front. But it was the whole nature of the goal, the whole build up to it, that was the most frustrating. As Leno looks to clear it, but it's only as far as Ward-Prowse. Plays it quickly into Ings, looks to help it on for Walcott. Ings on the edge of the box now for Southampton. Here's Diallo into Armstrong. Shoots from the edge of the box, deflected just wide, and it's going to be another Southampton corner. They're so much sharper in and around the penalty area than us. And this all stemmed from a really bad clearance from Bernd Leno that time. But you know what? I'll let Bernd Leno off because he made an excellent save earlier on. Dominic in the comments says that Cedric should have put that chance away. Yeah, absolutely. If Cedric had put that chance away, this is a very, very different game. You have to take your chances at this level. Corner's going to come in from Southampton's left. Ward-Prowse whips it in. It's a header from Danny Ings towards the far post. It's wide of Bernd Leno's goal. Not sure if he was aiming for goal there, Danny Ings, or if he was looking to find someone at the far post. He's got Gabriel Martinelli marking him in and around the penalty spot. You cannot allow a threat like Danny Ings to be marked by someone who's just clearly not got many defensive instincts in Martinelli. Arsenal looking to build some play out from the back here. And you can see this now. Look, Arsenal in possession, and there are 6 Southampton bodies squeezed into that area, trying to make it difficult for us to step out. Look at the energy. Look at the work rate. Here's Rob Holding at right centre-back. Into Gabriel now. Finds Granit Xhaka. Back to Holding. It's all good having the ball in this area of the pitch, but you need to progress it, Arsenal. Right now, that's not happening. Here's Bellerin. Here's Willian now. He's got Nketiah making a run ahead of him. Here is Eddie Nketiah inside the Southampton box. Cuts infield, it falls to Pepe. Shot blocked. That looked like it was on target from Nicolas Pepe. He chips it in towards the far post. There's Cedric stretching. On his weaker left side, it was always going to be difficult for him to bring that down. But that's better from Arsenal. Playing the ball in between the lines. Nice dummy there from Martinelli to let Willian have it. He played Nketiah in. He got inside the box, Nketiah cut in field, lost control of the ball, but there was Pepe to get the shot away. It was blocked. He came back to Pepe, who did well to create the room and stick it up at that far post. It was the right idea, but unfortunately, it was Cedric on the stretch coming in. Just having a look at some of your comments with regards to the Arsenal style of play. Yeah, I agree. You need to play one-touch football when you're trying to progress the ball past, a pressing side like this. They won't give you time to take more than one touch, as we saw with Mohamed El Neni. And that's what ultimately led to the goal. Here come the Saints again, down the left with Stuart Armstrong. Just checks back and plays it to James Ward-Prowse, but the flag has gone up eventually against Armstrong. It's going to be an Arsenal free kick at right back. Kai Hin says we need to find Pepe more. I certainly agree that Pepe's got that ability to do stuff when he gets the ball in those areas, but he's got to be more proactive in making stuff happen for himself as well, and I don't think he does enough of that, Nicolas Pepe. Harry Land says tough game so far. Hard to criticise the attacking players when they receive the ball in congested areas. We need some good build-up play from the back to open up the space. Lewis Cooper says, was Arteta confident we would beat them with this squad? As I said right at the top of the broadcast, mate, I don't think he would have been. I don't think Mikel Arteta is deluded enough to know that these players that are out there now, a lot of them, they're just not up to standard right now. Their confidence is shot. They're not performing at the right level. But as I said, including this one, if Arsenal were to go through today, actually scrap that. Even if Arsenal don't go through, including this fixture, they would have to play 10 matches between the 22nd of January and the end of February. It's mad. It's crazy. It's nuts. That's why rotation is required. And I genuinely believe it is required here. Something has to take a priority. I would rather we got 3 points against Southampton in the Premier League on Tuesday. I really would. And I know a lot of people would disagree with that. The FA Cup is part of our history. It's our cup, if you like. But, I just think that the league has to take precedent over this. If we want to keep our hands on our cup, we're going to have to do some serious work in the second period. Clement Kuko says, Xhaka El Neni is not good enough. Matt G says, do you think the team are reluctant to pass to Pepe because they don't believe in him? I don't think that's the case necessarily, but if you watch it, if you see in 2 runs, one from Gabriel Martinelli and one from Nicolas Pepe, I think you're probably going to pick the Martinelli one, aren't you? Thomas, one of our members, welcome, mate. He says, Arteta does not know what he's doing. He's an amateur coach. Willian Bellerin, Xhaka, and Eddie are not good enough. There's no playmakers in the team. Here's Xhaka, deep in midfield. Finds Rob Holding now. Here's Bellerin. Into the feet of Xhaka, under pressure, does well there because Danny Ings was lurking. Here's Gabriel now, bringing the ball out of the defence for Arsenal. A lot of Arsenal fans actually have been moaning about David Luiz of late, saying that David Luiz slows our build-up play down. Actually, I think David Luiz is a lot more capable of playing against the press like this than any of our centre-backs. I think David Luiz would look far more comfortable with the ball at his feet than Rob Holding, say, or Gabriel at the moment, who's having a bit of a nightmare today. Here's Theo Walcott. Gets inside the penalty area. Theo Walcott looks to cut it back across goal. Rob Holding does well there to get back and make an interception. And according to the referee, it's come back off of Theo Walcott, and it's going to be an Arsenal goal kick. But look at Theo Walcott just making a run off of the shoulder of Gabriel from centre to the left. It's just Arsenal just defensively are really at 6s and 7s at times. Martinelli just working really hard up front for Arsenal to try and win the ball back high up the pitch. It's with Southampton now, but look at the difference when Southampton have the ball at the back, and that's really good work from Pepe actually to win that back on the right. But prior to Pepe coming face to face with Ryan Bertrand there, Southampton were comfortable in possession, not an Arsenal shirt in sight. Here is Gabriel now on the halfway line, plays it left to Cedric. Nice ball into the channel for Willian to chase. What's the decision going to be? It's going to be a Southampton throw-in by the looks of it. The Bednarek came across and dealt with it. 41 minutes on the clock. Half-time is fast approaching here. I think some of the comments in the chat right now about sort of Arteta are a little bit harsh, man. I said it right at the top of the show. How on earth can you blame Mikel Arteta when we've got so many fixtures, so many more important fixtures than this coming up? How can you blame him for rotating some of the team? Kieran Tierney just about made it back for that game against Newcastle, for example, the other night. Why would you risk him today when we got Southampton again on Tuesday? Why would you risk Thomas Partey again after he played 90 minutes or after he played from the start against Newcastle, having been out for such a long time and having been out because he had a reoccurrence of an injury after we rushed him back in the first place? How could you risk Emile Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, when we so clearly need them for our creative spark in the Premier League, which, whatever people say, is a priority above the FA Cup? I think you've got to give Mikel Arteta a break here. Mohamed El Neni giving the ball away. Gabriel scoring an own goal. I don't think he can be held accountable for that. Come on. Probably some of the Arsenal fans are the same people that thought Mohamed El Neni was the next Esteban Cambiasso after that performance at Old Trafford as well. So, you've got to put things into context a little bit. Southampton have a free kick now on the corner of our penalty area. Probably about 5 yards from the corner of our penalty area. Even less. 3 yards. Bertrand standing over it, left-footed. And of course, James Ward-Prowse can deliver this with the right foot. Ward-Prowse goes for goal. It's wide of Bernd Leno's right-hand post. Always good whip and always good dip on James Ward-Prowse's set pieces. Didn't quite get it on target that time though, no problem for Bernd Leno in the end. I agree with Dominic. Let's just get it. Let's just get in at half-time 1-0. Perhaps shake it up a little bit. Maybe Arteta can get in and amongst them in the changing room and make a bit of a difference. We've seen him do that actually of late. I thought he did that in the game against Newcastle. I thought he did really well with whatever he did at half-time. Bellerin goes down under the challenge of Ings, but Arsenal maintain possession here with Cedric. Finds Martinelli on the left flank, looks to help it on towards Cedric. Carl Walker-Peters clears it though. I think the ball may have gone out of play there. Yep, it's going to be an Arsenal throw taken quickly. Here's Martinelli. Looking to make something happen. Here's Nketiah on the left now. Finds Cedric. Looks up, puts one into the penalty area. It's towards the far post, but no one was there. Cross was majorly overhit as well there from the former Southampton man. It's been a painful watch this first period for an Arsenal fan. Southampton started the game by putting a lot of pressure on us. We had a couple of decent opportunities. The one that fell to Cedric and the one, of course, that fell to Gabriel Martinelli after a really smartly worked free kick. But Southampton have had their opportunities too. They've had a lot of corners. They've put us under a lot of pressure in this first period. Che Adams knocking the ball past Gabriel, running on to the end of it and forcing a really good save out of Bern Leno. Danny Ings' chance as well will go down as a good opportunity. They eventually got their breakthrough via a Gabriel own goal after Carl Walker-Peters put the ball into the penalty area from the right-hand side. After Mohamed El Neni gave it away cheaply. You can see Mohamed El Neni there just gesturing to the players. We need to get the ball moving quicker. There needs to be that zip, that sharpness, and that zip and sharpness has been missing from this Arsenal team so often this season. You know, Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, when they can link up with Alexander Lacazette, really give us that in the final third. We just haven't seen any of it here today. It's been a bit of a story of our season, if I'm being completely honest. Half-time at St Mary's. It's Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. Not the greatest performance from the Gunners, as we've already discussed. Gabriel looking well off the pace. Not much in terms of inspiration from anybody else, but Mohamed El Neni's mistake is what led to Southampton's opener. The hosts lead us by a goal to nil, and if Arsenal are going to retain their FA Cup, they've got a lot of work to do in this second half. We're going to take a short break. Going to go and grab a drink, but stay here. We're not going anywhere, so stay tuned, and we'll be back with you very, very soon. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the live watch along of Southampton versus Arsenal in the FA Cup fourth round here. Not a great half, not a great first half. I think we can all agree on that. Things need to dramatically improve in the second period if Arsenal are to stand any chance of retaining our FA Cup. Been really, really disappointed with the performance, to be fair. You know, it feels like Southampton just want it more. And I know Southampton have gone stronger in terms of the team they've picked, but just seeing that replay of the goal and how it came back, Mohamed El Neni mucking about, and you're looking at it afterwards as the play moves on. Him and Hector Bellerin are kind of discussing what's gone on. And, you know, Bellerin's running alongside him, all obviously having a word about it. And you're just thinking to yourself, guys, just defend what you're doing. But when Southampton put the ball into the box, they've got 6 bodies into the penalty area. When have you seen Arsenal get 6 bodies into the opposition's penalty area? That's how much they want it. That's how much they are, you know, desperate to progress in this tie. It's that kind of aggression that Ralph Hasenhüttl puts into his side. And when Arsenal get forward, you don't see anywhere near as much of that. Now, I know that we have had a couple of really good chances. Just seeing that Martinelli chance again after Willian chipped in a delightful free kick, actually. Apologies, it was Pepe who put the ball into the box in there. My apologies. I thought it was Willian earlier on as well. Obviously wasn't paying proper attention. But yeah, it was Pepe that dinked it in. And Martinelli made a really clever run. But he's got to do better with a finish. I know, as we said, it's a difficult technique, isn't it? Coming over your shoulder. It's always difficult to make good contact with a ball, let alone when it's coming over on your weaker side. But that was a really good opportunity, as was the one that fell to Cedric. Arsenal have not been without opportunities, but they haven't been clinical enough. Mikel Arteta will no doubt sit there after the game if we do lose this and say, look, we made the chances, we had the moments and we didn't take them, etc. But for me, you know, we just haven't been good enough overall. Graham says, that's the result of 7 changes, Harry. We're dying on the altar of rotation. Southampton want to win the FA Cup more than us. Embarrassing. Yeah. The thing is with the changes, though, Graham, you know, had Mikel played all the big boys today, and then Kieran Tierney went down injured, Thomas Partey went down injured, you know, or Aubameyang, either of those picked up an injury, we'd all be cursing him and saying, why didn't he make changes? I just think the nature of this season, you know, is unlike any other. You know, normally you'd have a weekend essentially dedicated to the FA Cup, wouldn't you? So you'd play today and then you wouldn't play a Premier League game again until next weekend. But we've got a Premier League game coming up on Tuesday. It's just a sign of the times. It's a sign of the situation that we're in, not just as Arsenal Football Club, but in football right now. And so I don't really have an issue with him making the changes. In an ideal world, I'd have loved him to pick the same side that played against Newcastle. But we all knew, I think, deep down that wasn't going to happen. But that doesn't excuse the lack of desire from those players on the pitch right now. If anything, the likes of Pepe, the likes of Willian, the likes of Nketiah, the likes of El Neni and people like that, they should be wanting it more. You know, they should be working harder to prove a point because ultimately they are currently fringe players. You know, they're the ones that have to prove a point. Emile Smith-Rowe's proven his point over the last few weeks. You know, Granit Xhaka's proven his point over the last few weeks, and I'm going to players now that are in the side today. Rob Holding's proven himself. Bernd Leno's proven himself. I'm looking for more from the others. I'm looking for those players who have struggled for game time of late to really make a point and show Mikel Arteta that they're ready to play and ready to contribute to this team. It's not happening at the moment, though. Fingers crossed we get a better second half. Of course, there is talent on the bench that we can turn to in Alexander Lacazette, in Thomas Partey, who I think would really help us get a hold of this game in midfield. So we're going to have to wait and see. Bukayo Saka's on there as well. You know, we're going to have to wait and see whether Mikel Arteta decides to make a change early on in the second half and see if that can make any difference. But right now, it's not looking good. It is a bit of a worry. As I said, to me, this competition is not a priority this season. It's not a priority this time around, but it is our cup. It is Arsenal's cup, and it kills me to see us seemingly sort of heading towards an exit without really putting up a fight. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you've hit that like button, share the stream around as well. Let's get as many of you joining us live as we possibly can. And let's hope for a better second period. And Arsenal hopefully to be able to get themselves back into this one. Don't forget, if you want to become a member of the Chronicles of a Gooner YouTube channel and you haven't done so already, click the link in the description. It will take you to our membership page and you can choose which, if any, of the 3 tiers suit you best. Lots of new members recently, so a massive thank you to everybody who signed up. It's very, very much appreciated. We'll be bringing you a review show on this game a little bit later on today. The time will be confirmed, so keep your eyes peeled. Sorry for that, and we'll have a little bit of an in-depth chat after the game, whether it's a win or a defeat. We'll make sure we try and make sense of it, dissect it. Let's see what some of you guys are saying. Kai Hin says, I would rather see us win the game on Tuesday. Me too. But that doesn't mean I want to lose this one, but I get what I feel like that as well. What else have we got? Lord Jabberwock says, if we can get an early goal in the second half without any changes, there might be hope. Thomas says, hey, Harry, we have to rotate. I understand that, but you cannot play a team that does not have a playmaker. Arteta's philosophy scares me. All top 8 teams in the Premier League play with 2 to 3 playmakers. Well, you know, he will be hoping that Nicolas Pepe can do what Bukayo Saka does. He'll be hoping, you know, that Willian can do what Emil Smith-Rowe's been doing. I know it hasn't worked out, but you know, I can't sit here and dig out Mikel Arteta for the rotation when I spent the whole week saying that I would do the same thing. You know, that would be wrong of me. It'd be hypocritical of me. I genuinely feel like it was always on the cards. It was always going to happen, and I'm not surprised that it has happened. And therefore, I'm not going to then go into a major meltdown about it. Look, if we crash out the FA Cup, it'll be disappointing, of course. But if we go and pick up 3 points on Tuesday, then I'll take it. Because for me, the Premier League is by far the priority. Pete Rand says, come on, Harry, put you on the spot. Final score, please. I'm going to go with a 1-1. And I think this is going to go extra time and penalties. Watch. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Rory says, Harry, do you see us having a better chance winning the Europa League than the FA Cup? Wouldn't you think Arteta will put this as a priority? No, I think the Europa League would be a priority, mate. Number 1, because it's a European trophy. And number 2, because winning that puts you directly back in the Champions League. Winning this puts you into the Europa League. And obviously the Champions League is Arsenal's real aim, real ambition, real goal. Some of you will say, some of you will say that we'll say that we're nowhere near the Champions League level and we shouldn't, be aspiring to that right now. And we need to get our house in order first. But for me, Arsenal financially desperately need to be in the Champions League. We're getting ready for the second half to kick off. The players are back out on the field. Big hello to Marble, whose TV is just joining us well, and to Dread Angel. Let's get back down to business here at St Mary's. The second half is about to kick off. It's currently Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. Hector Bellerin sharing some instructions with Gabriel and various others. A leader, Hector Bellerin, at least vocally, even if you don't necessarily like him as a player. Ready to get back underway here. It's Arsenal who are going to kick us off, shooting from left to right now. No changes by the looks of it. I had to go and get myself a coffee at half time. Wasn't feeling in the celebratory mood. Did think about a beer after Harry mentioned it in the chat, but yeah, wasn't quite in the mood for one. With a good old-fashioned cup of coffee. Maybe it'll help me drum up some energy and get a little bit more enthusiastic about what this second half has to bring. Here comes Southampton. Here's Armstrong on the left. Looks to lay it off to James Ward-Prowse, but it's good work from Nicolas Pepe back in his defensive third there. As Holding looks to switch the play. It's a really bad ball from Rob Holding out to the left. It's in between Gabriel and Cedric. Nowhere near either of them. Big hello to Miss Melina as well, joining us in the chat. How you doing? It's a Southampton throw-in. Met by the head of El Neni. And then Arsenal give away a free kick. Gabriel Martinelli with the foul. On the left, Southampton's right. Come on, you Gunners. Just a little bit late to the party there, Gabriel Martinelli. Certainly caught Carl Walker-Peters, and it's another opportunity for James Ward-Prowse to put one of his excellent deliveries into the penalty area. I've left my glasses off. Let's see if that makes a difference. I'm sitting so close to the screen that it should be fine. Watching the studio screen at the moment. In it comes from James Ward-Prowse on the right-hand side, just gathered by Bernd Leno. Can he release Arsenal? And can he start a counter-attack here? Here's Hector Bellerin, plays it down the line. Nicolas Pepe will chase this. Cuts inside Diallo, just lost his footing there. Nicolas Pepe, really unlucky, to be fair to him. Arsenal squeezing Southampton. You could see Willian and Cedric both going in to challenge Theo Walcott there. They looked to shut him down as he tried to bring the ball away from the Saints. Willian certainly fouled him, but probably didn't need to because Walcott's touch was such a bad one. And I think Cedric would have picked up that ball anyway. Good pace from Diallo to keep up with Pepe there, but Pepe was always going to cut back in, wasn't he, onto that left foot? That's what Nicolas Pepe does. He's so one-footed. Made it a little bit predictable. And in his attempt to cut inside, maybe a little bit earlier than Diallo would have expected, he lost his footing. And Lewis Cooper points out that was a really good ball from Bellerin. It was down the line, had the right spin on it, the right pace. Long ball over the top from Southampton. It'll go all the way into the arms of Bernd Leno. Rolls it out to Mohamed El Neni. Hopefully he's learned his lesson about dilly-dallying on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area. Gabriel plays it out to the left. Going to put my glasses back on. Don't want to get a headache, do we? This match is enough of a headache as it is. Rob Holding coming across and making a clearance. It's going to be a Southampton throw. In line with the edge of Arsenal's penalty area. 48 minutes on the clock here at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Arsenal 0 in the FA Cup 4th round. The holders are staring elimination in the face. Bernd Leno now with the sun in his eyes. Probably see why whoever it was that won the toss decided to change the sides at the beginning. It's back with Forster now, inside his own penalty area, the Southampton goalkeeper. Danny Ings is in behind here for Southampton. Danny Ings is come off the post and then back off Bernd Leno and gone just wide of the goal. Not sure if the flag was up in the end. We're going to have another look at this. Danny Ings didn't look offside to me. He got in behind, took a really good touch. Rob Holding did well to close the angle. The flag did go up in the end, but Danny Ings certainly didn't look offside there to me. Not at first glance anyway, but we haven't had one of those fancy replays with all the lines yet. Bellerin plays the ball forward into the channel for Pepe to chase, but Forster was alert. Forster comes to the edge of the box and gathers. VAR, of course, is in operation today. It's in operation in the Premier League grounds. I'm sure had Danny Ings' effort not come off the post, there would have been a bit of an inquiry into that. As I say, I've only seen it the once, but he didn't look initially offside to me. He looked like one of his teammates was, Che Adams, I think. There's so much grey area at the moment, isn't there, around the offside rule. We thought we had it nailed. We thought we knew exactly what was going on. And then there was that Manchester City goal against Aston Villa. And it come to fruition that actually there are laws that we as fans probably don't even know about. Managers don't even know about. Here's Ings into Che Adams on the edge of Arsenal's box. Rob Holding does well to get back there and get a footing. But Arsenal have given it away again. Here's Bertrand inside the penalty area on the left. Low delivery. Blocked by Holding. It will come to the edge of the box for Ward-Prowse. Volleys it over the bar. Southampton starting this second half, just like they did the first, putting Arsenal under immense pressure. Bernd Leno's going to take the goal kick. He's going to play it short to Gabriel to his left. Southampton have had 9 attempts so far in comparison to Arsenal's 3. Just not good enough. Gooner says, get Partey on. Unless things take a dramatic change in the next, 8-9 minutes, I can see Mikel Arteta acting. He has to. It's just not been good enough in every single department for Arsenal today. Cedric hooks it forward. It's met by a Southampton head and then helped on. Che Adams will chase this, but Gabriel gets there and just helps it back to Bernd Leno in the Arsenal goal. Here's Mohamed Elneny on the edge of the penalty area now for the Gunners. Plays it to his right where he'll find Hector Bellerin. Ball down the line in search of Nicolas Pepe's run. This time it's Eddie Nketiah, apologies, who's pulled out to the right. He's gone down under a Southampton challenge. It's going to be an Arsenal corner in the end, much to the frustration of Jan Bednarek and Stevens, who both came across to deal with Nketiah there and both felt that actually it should have been a Southampton goal kick. We're just having another look at it. Nketiah goes down. The ball comes off Bednarek and then Nketiah with his arm has almost punched it onto the leg of Dale Stevens and won Arsenal the corner. Love it. Arsenal taking the corner short. Change the angle. Pepe delivers it in, but it's headed away at the near post. Arsenal try to come again as Cedric hooks that over his shoulder into the direction of Rob Holding. Helped it on towards Nketiah, but Theo Walcott was back there defending. Here's Ward-Prowse now, takes it down neatly midway inside his own half. It's back with Fraser Forster now in the Southampton goal, who launches it forward. And the Saints are still in possession now on the halfway line with James Ward-Prowse. Finds Bertrand, who looks very energetic still to me, despite being over the age of 30. A lot of jokes going around yesterday when Arsenal were linked with a move for him about the fact that he is an ex-Chelsea man, he is over 30, and so he probably fit perfectly at the Emirates Stadium. Offside decision goes against Southampton there. Lots of you calling for Thomas Partey to be introduced. Omar says we're hanging by a thread. Charlie says terrible defending. Gooner says we're getting peppered. T-Talk says, I can't lie, I expected this level of performance when I saw the starting 11. Arteta had no choice but to rotate, but the players had a point to prove to him and the fans. Agreed. Harry Land just paying tribute to some of the good passes that have been played so far by Hector Bellerin down that right-hand side at the start of this second half, and it looks as though Mikel Arteta has decided to act less than 10 minutes into the second period. Thomas Partey and Bukayo Saka are stripped and ready here. Here's Gabriel inside his own box. Squares it to Rob Holding. Not an ideal pass when Southampton are pressing you the way they are. Bellerin's done well to keep that for Arsenal. Here's Nketiah now. Pepe, my apologies. He's gone down under the challenge of Bertrand. The two interchanging positions quite a bit at the moment. Pepe's gone down and he's holding his ankle after Bertrand's challenge. He just stepped on Pepe's foot, didn't he? Big hello to Jay Dubia. Just joins us. He says, I'm late to the party. In time for Partey, though. Yes, you are indeed. Thomas Partey and Bukayo Saka are both stripped and ready, and they're going to enter the field of play for the Arsenal any minute now. Jack Stevens just shown a yellow card for his involvement in the stopping of Nicolas Pepe down that right-hand side a minute ago. Two substitutes are ready, but I'd imagine they'd be introduced at the next stoppage in play. Ball played forward towards Southampton's left-back position, hooked away by Stevens. It's gone out for an Arsenal throw-in on the right. Dominic asking who's coming off. Not sure yet. Not sure. I think Nicolas Pepe will probably be one of them, though. Maybe Willian has been anonymous at the start of this second half, hasn't he? Noel was saying he was quite lively at the beginning of the first, and he was, in comparison to the rest of the Arsenal players, which I know is not really saying much. I think Mohamed El Neni will certainly make way, though. He'll be coming off. Who the other one is remains to be seen. You know what? I think I'd take Nketiah off and put Martinelli up front if it were me. I don't know if that will happen. Referee's blown up for an offside decision. Come on, Arsenal, get on with it. We're all sitting here waiting for Thomas Partey and Bukayo Saka to be introduced. It's just not happened yet. It's going to be Mohamed El Neni to make way, as I said. And the other one to go is Gabriel Martinelli. That's interesting. Started the game in a lively fashion, Martinelli, but it hasn't really, worked for him since then. I've got to be honest. You can tell he looks disappointed to be coming off, but he'd have been disappointed if he didn't look disappointed, if that makes sense. Mikel Arteta acting early in the second half. Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. Their place in the FA Cup 5th round is at stake here. Here's Pepe into Eddie Nketiah. Nice link-up play there with Pepe. He's into the box. Nketiah gets a shot away. He's taking a deflection off Bednarek. Good block in the end from the Southampton man. Not sure if that was goal-bound from Eddie Nketiah, but it's much better work. Much better link-up play between the two. Nketiah into Pepe. Lovely little flick from Pepe. His confidence can't be that shot. It's lively, it's sharp, it's quick. That's what Arsenal need. Don't know if that was going just wide from Nketiah, but nonetheless, Arsenal have a corner. Pepe's going to deliver it. Plays it short to Willian. Into Bellerin now. Chips it in towards the far post. Rob Holding. It will fall to Rob Holding eventually, and Rob Holding hooks that over the bar. That's a chance for Rob Holding. He didn't win the initial header, but he did enough for the ball to break into a favourable position for him there, Rob Holding. Just see it here, just does enough. It falls to him. He holds off and allows Bednarek to commit. And then the chance completely opens up for Rob Holding. And, from that distance, I don't care if you're a centre-half. You've got to be hitting the target. And I spoke about it earlier on, didn't I? That Rob Holding has had opportunities inside the penalty area for Arsenal this season, and he's not taken them. That was certainly one of them. That's better from Arsenal, though. That's what happens when you speed up the tempo. Partey in between the lines to Pepe. Dispossessed, though, by Ward-Prowse. Partey picks up the loose ball again. Plays it to the right where he'll find Bellerin. This is better from Arsenal. Bellerin whips it in towards the penalty area. Jan Bednarek smashes it out for an Arsenal throw-in on this right-hand side. Come on, you Gunners. Here is Gabriel now. Just squares it to Holding. It's so annoying when you get a throw in deep inside the opposition's half and you end up like we have now with the ball back at your goalkeeper's feet. So frustrating. Here's Cedric at left back, holding off the challenge of Theo Walcott. Finds Gabriel. He plays it forward into the direction of Bukayo Saka. Can't quite get that under control. Jay Dubia asks, how long do you think it will take for Arteta's jet black hair to fade to grey? Yeah, I don't think it'll be long. Certainly not in this job anyway. Maybe he'll dye it, who knows. Here comes Southampton. Good work from Thomas Partey to win the ball back in the midfield for Arsenal. And now it's with Hector Bellerin on the right. Would the introduction of Alexander Lacazette just give Arsenal that little bit of extra impetus up front? Probably would. Wouldn't be surprised if you see that one come in the next few minutes if things don't change. Here's Holding out to the right where he'll find Bellerin midway inside Southampton's half. Forced back to Holding though. It's with Gabriel now on the halfway line. Some of you laughing at the fact that Thomas Partey's come on and already played probably more forward passes than Mohamed El Neni did in the entirety of that first half. Here he is. Here is Partey. Out to the left. Lovely ball that. Cedric will just about keep it on. Lovely ball into Saka, who used his quick feet to get away from Kyle Walker-Peters, but the next touch wasn't quite what he'd have hoped for. Arsenal have it back now, though. Apparently it's a foul throw. Apparently Cedric has committed a foul throw. It seems that is a systemic issue at Arsenal at the moment then. So fucking frustrating. Excuse my language. Big hello to Kevin Sean joining us. How you doing, mate? My phone is popping off. I don't even want to look at the messages I'm probably getting right now. Grief for Arsenal. Holding plays that forward. Here is Ward-Prowse deep in his own half. Plays it back to Stevens. Cedric does well to nudge Theo Walcott out of the way. Here's Eddie Nketiah. His touch is a loose one. Allows Stevens to get a foot in, and Southampton will bring the ball away now with Kyle Walker-Peters. Just plays it infield to James Ward-Prowse. Helps it on to Armstrong. Bellerin on hand to win it back for Arsenal. It's now with Partey. Now Xhaka. He's not been as busy today, as dominant today as he has been in recent weeks, Granit Xhaka. Bit of a shame. Edward says messages from Boovie and Grizz probably. I haven't even looked yet, mate, to be honest. Now, they're normally quite good. You know, we have a lot of banter on the show, but we don't normally give each other too much shit when our teams are losing. Not at that moment, anyway, because it could get a little bit heated. It's always best to save it when the dust is settled. Here is Bellerin charging forward for Arsenal. He's got Pepe to his right, finds him. Pepe steps inside onto that left foot, lays it off for Thomas Partey, strikes one from distance. Terrible effort in the end from Thomas Partey. 63 minutes on the clock. Mikel Arteta not amused. Certainly doesn't look happy with what he's seen from his side. Overall today, actually, it's going to be a Southampton goal kick, but they're in no rush, as you'd imagine, to take it. Fraser Forster plays it short. Here's Stevens out to the right, where he'll find Kyle Walker-Peters. Not sure what the referee has pulled this back for, though. I think he's making him take the goal kick again. Did the ball not leave the 6-yard box? Is that what it is? They've done exactly the same thing, except this time he's played it left for James Ward-Prowse, who's dropped into a deep position, finds Diallo ahead of him. Forward pass into Che Adams, who's forced back by some good Arsenal pressing. Here's Bertrand now at left back, dispossessed by Saka, but Armstrong gets on the loose ball and plays a good one in behind for Che Adams. Here he's got Theo Walcott in the middle if he can pick him out. He's come all the way through to Danny Ings at the far post. This attack is still very much alive for Southampton. Walcott fires over after Danny Ings cuts it back to him. How many times over the years have we as Arsenal fans seen that Theo Walcott finish? The one where he's got too much time to think about it. The ball comes to him at a nice, slow, steady pace, and he ends up scooping it over the bar from close range. You know, that's a chance for Theo. Should really hit the target there. Here's Rob Holding with a header forward for Arsenal. The problem is, when the ball does get headed forward or played forward, you know, the midfield just haven't been, and the forwards have not been dropping deep enough, and the midfield don't look mobile enough to pick up those loose balls. You look at like James Ward-Prowse, for example. He has been everywhere this afternoon. He has been everywhere for Southampton. You know, I haven't watched a great deal of them, like in terms of full games this season. But you're watching this and you can understand what the hype is around him, because he's everywhere for Southampton. Add to that his quality on the ball as well. You can understand why he's a highly sought after midfield player at the moment. Here's Willian. Hardly touched the ball in this second period, Willian. I'm surprised he stayed on, to be fair. Started the game brightly in comparison to some of the others, as I said. It's just not happening for him today. Quite frankly, it hasn't happened for him since the opening day of the season, which is why so many Arsenal fans have become frustrated by his constant inclusion. Here's Partey into Xhaka. It's now with Gabriel at left centre-back. In between the lines, good ball into Willian. He'll carry it forward now. Plays it left for Pepe. Lovely ball in behind. And it's an effort from Eddie Nketiah. Really good chance, Eddie Nketiah there. Got in behind. Good run, good ball from Pepe. It's got to be more clinical, though, in that sort of area. Has Eddie Nketiah. We're watching it again. Pepe with a lovely ball in behind Bednarek. It came to Nketiah and he just looked to try and poke it past Forster. I think it came off a Southampton man in the end. And the ball ended up going wide. Arsenal from the resulting set piece, taking it quickly, putting a delivery in towards the far post, but it's out and it's not troubling Fraser Forster. But a really good ball that from Nicolas Pepe. Really good ball. Just Nketiah looked to go with the kind of outside of his boot, didn't he? And just stab it past Fraser Forster, who was closing down the angle. It was good defending in the end from Southampton. But the things we have created in this second half, for all the calling for substitutes to be introduced and changes to be made, the two decent opportunities we've made in this second half have come from Pepe and Nketiah linking up. Xhaka goes down under a Southampton challenge there on Arsenal's left-hand side. Can't be more than a yard or two from the touchline. It's taken quickly. It's now with Gabriel. Big hello to everybody joining us in the live chat right now. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Here comes Eddie Nketiah looking to get in behind Jan Bednarek. Will Bukayo Saka rescue this? Keeps it on. He's to the right of Southampton's penalty area. It's with Willian now. Goes back to Bellerin. Can he put a decent delivery into the box? In it comes. It's come off Carl Walker-Peters. It's going to fall to Bukayo Saka. High and not troubling Fraser Forster whatsoever. But again, it's better from Arsenal. Looking a little bit more lively in that final third. Bellerin's delivery was a decent one. Pepe just caught on his heels a little bit there. Carl Walker-Peters was alert to it. Good defending in the end from the former Spurs man. Looked like it come off his arm to me. In fact, it definitely came off his arm to me. He's bloody saved it. Carl Walker-Peters with his arm there. He has prevented Nicolas Pepe getting on the ball, on the end of the ball with his arm there. And the referees are not interested. Unbelievable. Unbelievable decision that. I know we're talking about, being a little bit more fair when it strikes someone's arm from really close distance. Carl Walker-Peters has got ages to watch that coming over. And he's got his arm dangling out like this. How is that a natural position? I want a penalty for that. That's a shocking decision. Lacazette's getting stripped and ready. Can he have an impact on this one and help Arsenal claw their way back into it? Here's Saka. Gets to the byline, cuts it back. Met by a Southampton head this time. It was Diallo doing his defensive duties. You just feel like Southampton just slowing down a little bit in terms of their intensity here. Understandably so. They've put a lot into this game. 70 minutes have gone. But Arsenal need to take advantage. Probably would have had an opportunity to take advantage had the referees and the officials done their job there. Because that was most certainly a handball. Most certainly a handball. There's no doubt about it, in fact. That was a clear handball. And guess who's the VAR? As Xander points out, David Coote. What did I say in the show yesterday? I said David Coote is always involved in the worst VAR decisions we've seen in the Premier League. Why are they not checking it? Unbelievable. Shocking. Arsenal going to make a change. Hector Bellerin is going to make way. And Alexander Lacazette is going to come on. What will that mean for Arsenal tactically? Going to have a look. Are we going to switch to a back three? Is Granit Xhaka going to drop into the defence and make it a back three? We'll keep an eye on that. And it looks like Bukayo Saka's gone to left back and Cedric's going to come to right back. What was the point in bringing Bukayo Saka on if you were going to move him to left back? I don't get that. I really don't get that. Is it because they want him to create those overlapping runs and being naturally left-footed, they think that's going to work? Cedric's come to right back. Saka's gone to left back. That's what that change has meant. Lacazette's gone up top alongside Eddie. Here is Eddie chasing on the end of this ball. It's not a good ball, to be fair to him. Dominic says that Partey has made a difference. Yeah, he certainly has. He really, really has. I'm just livid about that decision because for me, that was a handball. It's absolutely a handball. Here come Arsenal. Here's Willian. Plays it to Bukayo Saka. He's one-on-one with Kyle Walker-Peters. Whips one in. It's parried away by Fraser Forster. Thomas Partey lets it run after the ball was beaten away by the goalkeeper. Came a long way off of Forster there. Here's Cedric winning it back for Arsenal. Plays it forward to Nicolas Pepe. Turns away from Armstrong. Does really well. Into the feet of Lacazette. Lays it off for Cedric. Can he put a good delivery and cut it out at the near post by James Ward-Prowse? Here is Diallo for Southampton. Finds Danny Ings, who's isolated Gabriel here. He's not even going to try and take him on though, Danny Ings. Tells you all you need to know actually about the state of Southampton right now. They're running out of steam, but Arsenal have to take advantage. It means nothing if Arsenal don't take advantage. Willian's gone out on the left. Saka's gone to left back and Cedric has gone to right back. I can't get my head around it. I thought the whole point of bringing Bukayo Saka on was to give us a bit more impetus in the final third. I know that it's with a view to him bombing down that left-hand side. Just doesn't feel quite right for me. Feels like a strange one. Partey driving forward. Looks to play in Willian. Pass was a poor one, though, from Thomas Partey. The idea was certainly right, though, as Walcott releases Che Adams now. Gabriel back behind the ball, as is Rob Holding. Gabriel did really well there to stand up to him and win the ball back for the Gunners. Here's Eddie Nketiah into Granit Xhaka. Don't forget, if you want to become a member of the channel, click the link in the description. We welcome you all. Here's Nicolas Pepe inside the Southampton penalty area. Looks to play it into the feet of Lacazette. It's still alive here. Pepe out to Willian inside the box now. Willian cuts onto that right foot. His shot is deflected off of a Southampton body. It's going to be an Arsenal corner kick. Come on! 15 minutes to keep our hopes of retaining the FA Cup alive here. We knew this was going to be a difficult game, particularly with all the changes that Mikel Arteta had made. We knew they were coming. But with 75 minutes on the clock now, Arsenal really, really need to pull something out of the bag. Corner taken short. Cedric delivers in towards the far post. Gabriel will run to try and keep this alive. I'm so fed up of these bloody corners. We've done it every single time. Gabriel knocks it past his man, goes down, doesn't get the free kick, and Southampton get away with it, and they'll clear it up the pitch. It's going to go all the way back to Bernd Leno, though. Xhaka's ball out to the right is a bad one. Willian did really well there to stretch and keep it in play. Over 200 of you watching us live right now across the multiple platforms. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out our membership scheme as well. Here is Xhaka. Ball out to the right. This time was a good one. Cedric will pick it up. He's waiting for Willian to make the run on the outside. It just took him an age to get there, though, Willian. Pepe trying to be too cute on the edge of the box. Here is Cedric now. Delivers. Met by a Southampton head, though, disappointingly. It falls to Willian on the edge of the box. Chests it down nicely towards Pepe, but it was a Southampton man who was more alive to it. Here's Saka on the left now. Arsenal looking to really increase the pressure on Southampton in this last 15 minutes or so. Certainly pinned them back in their own half, but we're still struggling to create clear goal-scoring opportunities. Lacazette trying to lay it off for Pepe again. Arsenal just trying to be too cute when perhaps the better option would have been to allow that ball to reach Willian on the left-hand side. Here's Partey. Out to the right where Cedric will pick it up. He's going to put another cross into the box. It's towards the far post. Willian trying to keep it alive, but Theo Walcott was back there defending. As Steve Stone says in the chat, we're still in this. This is still alive. We're having enough of the game. We're controlling enough of the game here. This is not over. Che Adams is being replaced by Lundulu, who scored one of the goals, incidentally, in Southampton's third round tie with Shrewsbury Town. Probably to give them a bit more energy, a bit of an outlet when they knock the ball forward, as they have been doing so desperately in the last 5-10 minutes or so. Arsenal really turning up the heat, but without creating any real clear goal-scoring opportunities. Here's Lacazette. Just to turn away from his man. He's gone down. He wants a free kick, Lacazette. And actually, there is going to be a free kick, but it's going to be given to Southampton for an offside. Pete Rand says even his kettle's not working. We're done for. Lacazette was just offside, yeah. It's the right call. Pete Rand also says, watch out for the counter-attack, guys. Don't get caught. Gooner says, we're knocking on the door here. We absolutely are. Well, we have to get through the door. Have to breach this Southampton defence within the next 12 minutes or so. Otherwise, we'll be out of the FA Cup. Here's Cedric. Coming down the right. Checks back and lays it off to Thomas Partey. With Holding. Back with Holding again. He plays a ball forward towards Eddie Nketiah, I think it was, but the pass didn't reach its intended destination, and Southampton have it now. Partey doing really well to win the ball off of the Southampton substitute. Thomas Partey gobbling up anything around him, which is what he was brought into this side to do. He's also displayed that he's got the ability to play good progressive passes as well. Here he is again, inside the Southampton half. Nice ball into Pepe's feet. Here's Lacazette holding off a couple of challenges. Nketiah through the legs of the defender. Nicolas Pepe had a chance there. It's going to fall to Nketiah. It's cleared off the line. Arsenal really going close to breaching the Southampton defence there. The flag's gone up against an Arsenal player. Not sure which one. Probably Nicolas Pepe, after he was initially put through by Eddie Nketiah. We're just having a look at the situation again. Nketiah through the legs of Jan Bednarek. It was a really good ball, but Nicolas Pepe had just strayed offside. Nketiah's effort wouldn't have counted anyway had it gone in. But you still expect him to rifle that into the back of the net. Got to be more ruthless in those situations. Rob Holding heads it back to Bernd Leno. 10 minutes of normal time remaining here. Silly from Pepe. He's giving it away midway inside his own half. Southampton happy to have the ball here. Gives them a bit of a breather. Here is Armstrong. It's Lundulu, the man who's come on for Southampton, giving them a bit more energy in that final third. Thomas Partey penalised for a foul on Ryan Bertrand. Just kind of nudged him in the back, didn't he, Thomas Partey? I'm not sure it was a foul, to be honest. See that happen all the time in the Premier League, but referee Peter Banks had other ideas. It's a free kick from wide. Can't be more than 2 or 3 yards from the byline. It's almost like a corner this for Southampton. James Ward-Prowse almost bent a corner in, didn't he? Earlier on. This is an even more tempting angle. It's blocked by Nicolas Pepe. I think it hit him in the face, and then it was cleared away by Arsenal, but not far enough, and Danny Ings gets a shot away from the edge of the box. It's a comfortable save in the end, though, for Burnley. Here's Partey just looking to help it on to Saka, but he's giving the ball away. Southampton coming forward menacingly. Here's Theo Walcott. Low cut back to the edge of the penalty area. Stuart Armstrong was in the vicinity, but he just lost his footing there. Here's Granit Xhaka now for Arsenal. Plays it left to Saka. Arsenal still stuck in their own half, though. Partey holding off Ings. And then holding off Diallo. He's still got it, Thomas Partey. He's done really well there, Thomas Partey. Xhaka plays it forward towards Lacazette. Goes down. Feels he was tugged there by Stevens. Referee says no. Play continues. Here's Partey inside the centre circle for Arsenal. Plays it forward into the feet of Nketiah. It's a terrible layoff to Cedric, but he keeps it alive. Here's Pepe now. Good ball into the feet of Lacazette. It's going to win Arsenal a corner here by the looks of it. I think the referee's going to pull it back actually for an Arsenal free kick. And he's shown Ryan Bertrand the yellow card, having caught Nicolas Pepe. Really late there, Bertrand, after Pepe played it into Lacazette's feet. It's going to be an Arsenal free kick. It's a good position, this. It's to the right of the penalty area. It's not even a yard from the white line. The angle's a decent one. It's probably about in line with the penalty spot. Are we going to see Nicolas Pepe whip one in with that left foot of his? Just go for the top corner, mate. Just go for that far top corner. Willian standing there as well. Pepe whips. Oh, it's a terrible effort from Pepe. It's such a terrible, frustrating effort. I know I said go for it. Go for the top corner, but you've got to get it on target. You've got to threaten the goal. It's been another disappointing, under par display from Thomas Partey. He's been so frustrating. Thomas in the chat is not happy with Eddie Nketiah. Doesn't want to see him in an Arsenal shirt again. Mikel Arteta urging his players on. There's around about 5.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Danny Ings being substituted. He's been replaced by Shane Long. Always a willing runner is Shane Long. He'll give Southampton that outlet I was talking about. Danny Ings, of course, returning today, having been out with COVID-19. Done well to get 84 minutes out of him, to be fair. Arsenal have a throw-in in the right-back position that Cedric is going to take. Throws it forward to Nicolas Pepe. He is holding. Back to Gabriel. This is not the area of the pitch Arsenal want to have the ball in. Holding's ball forward. Takes a deflection off a Southampton man. There was Bertrand to smash it back towards the Arsenal goal. Arsenal are staring elimination in the face here. Just not made enough clear-cut chances. It's as simple as that. And it's a problem that we have every time Emile Smith-Rowe is not in the side. He brings on Bukayo Saka to try and give us some of that, and he ends up playing at left back. It's just so frustrating. You know, Willian, Pepe and Nketiah have offered absolutely jack shit again. Yeah, they get in decent positions sometimes. Sometimes they combine, but they don't do it anywhere near frequently enough, anywhere near regularly enough. And they've let us down again. Gabriel clears that at the near post. It'll come back to Diallo, the Southampton man who's just let it run under his legs and won Southampton a throw-in. Midway inside Arsenal's half, an opportunity for them to have a breather, run down the clock further. You know, when we changed the side today, I think most of us thought that we would struggle today. But it's the nature of the defeat, isn't it? It's the nature of the performance that makes it so frustrating. Low cross gathered by Bernd Leno. I actually predicted a 1-0 to Southampton in my 90-min preview. If you haven't read that. Southampton appealing for a penalty there. Don't think they're going to get one. Shane Long went down. Just having another look at the incident. He just knocked the ball past Rob Holding, who stuck a leg out there, but I don't think there was enough contact. Surely not. He does catch him. Does catch him with that follow through. It's going to be a corner, though, by the looks of it. I'll be livid if he gives this, because we should have had a penalty at the other end. Nope, it's going to be a corner. I predicted the 1-0 Southampton. I put it in a written piece. I said it on yesterday's podcast, because that's what I could genuinely see happening. I got called negative by some of you. Got told I didn't know what I was talking about. Well, look, 88 minutes on the clock is Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. It's not that I wanted it to happen. Sometimes you have to be realistic about where we are, and knowing that Mikel Arteta and Arsenal were going to make so many changes. This was always going to be a really difficult game. It's back with Fraser Forster now in the Southampton goal. Clears it long with his left foot. Taken on the chest by Shane Long. Plays it right to Theo Walcott. Just steps on it and just checks back. Running down the clock are Southampton. James Ward-Prowse looks for Theo Walcott, is making a run on the right. Bukayo Saka does well to get in front of his man. Mr. Tesh says Pepe has no quality, worse than anything you get from Poundland. He hasn't been good today, Nicolas Pepe, but nobody has. You know, nobody has. And when you're talking about the 3 substitutes that came on, the only one that's had any impact, I would say, is Thomas Partey. Saka, nothing. Of course, you've got to take into consideration he's been put at left back. Lacazette has not been able to make the ball stick like he has done so well in recent weeks. There's 2 types of Lacazette. There's the really frustrating one that we've seen for most of this season. And then there's the really good one that we saw in the first 3 games and in the last 3 games. Here's Saka on the left for Arsenal. Puts a good ball into the box. Lacazette trying to get on the end of it, but it's beaten everybody. It's gone out for a Southampton goal kick. Really disappointing way to go out of the cup. He's put the ball into the right area there, Bukayo Saka, to be fair to him. Lacazette just stretching there, trying to make some form of contact with it. 3 minutes of time added on here, as indicated by the 4th official. Walcott heads it forward, met by the head of Rob Holding. Thomas Partey goes up for an aerial duel. Southampton seem to have found this surge of energy again in the last few minutes, and they're keeping Arsenal pinned in their own half for the most part at the minute. Looked like they were running out of steam, but a couple of substitutions from Ralph Hasenhüttl seems to have breathed a new lease of life into them. Arsenal need to be pumping the ball forward now. Bernd Leno does exactly that. No time for mucking about. 2 minutes remaining of the added 3. Here comes Southampton on the attack, though. Back was Granit Xhaka to dispossess Lundulu, who'd gotten away from his man. Really poor defending from Rob Holding there. He just got eased off the ball by Shane Long, and you can't do that. You can't allow that to happen if you're Rob Holding. You've got to be more dominant than that. You've got to be more physical than that. Shane Long is not exactly Didier Drogba or Diego Costa, is he? And he's going to ease you out of an aerial challenge. No. You've got to be physical. You've got to stand your ground. Southampton have a corner, which they'll take short. Surprise, surprise. Arsenal do well to win it back quickly. That's a foul on Cedric. James Ward-Prowse doing his best to disrupt the play, and then Armstrong throws the ball away. Come on, ref. Deal with it. Deal with it. Preventing Arsenal breaking away. Get your cards out. And now we're trying to take it, and Shane Long standing on top of the ball. Leno plays it long. It's going to fall to Pepe. No, it's going to go out for an Arsenal throw-in. Here's at Cedric into Thomas Partey. Takes a touch over the head of James Ward-Prowse. Willian helps it on. It's going to fall to Eddie Nketiah. Come on, Arsenal. You've got to take these chances when they come. The ball fell to Eddie Nketiah in the penalty area. And you really thought that was it. That was the moment. Just snatched at the chance, Eddie Nketiah. As he does so often, as he did earlier on in the game. And I know, he snatched at a couple of chances, didn't he? The one where Pepe put him through and he tried to just poke it past the goalkeeper. I felt like he rushed that. He snatched at it. He snatched at the opportunity when Fraser Forster was caught out, albeit if the offside flag had gone up afterwards. After Pepe's effort. It's blown up here. The full-time whistle has gone at St Mary's. It's Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. Arsenal, the FA Cup holders, have crashed out of the competition at the second hurdle. Really disappointing result. Really disappointing performance from so many in an Arsenal shirt. All attention turns to Tuesday now. And we've got to win that game because that's the only way we're going to feel better about what's happened today. Really frustrating. And it's spoiled our day, hasn't it? Spoils the day, spoils the weekend, always does when Arsenal don't perform. But you know what? Southampton wanted it more. They had more quality in the key areas when it mattered. They were the better side for the most part, and they deserved their place in the next round. Now, I am disappointed that the referee didn't point to the spot when Kyle Walker-Peters clearly handled the ball in the penalty area in that second half. And you guys that watch me and listen to me regularly will know that I don't often moan too much about refereeing decisions. I always feel like I want to focus on the things that we can control. But here today, I think Arsenal have been robbed. I've got to be honest. I was really disappointed to not see that decision, given. But it is what it is. Arsenal weren't good enough on the day. Arsenal certainly don't deserve a place in the next round of the competition after that performance. Mikel Arteta rung the changes. We knew it was going to happen. But unfortunately, he's probably learnt a lesson today, and he's probably learnt exactly who he can and cannot rely on in this Arsenal squad. Big thank you to everybody for joining me on this live watch along. Really appreciate your support. Great to have you with me. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the watch along, even if you didn't enjoy the game. So I want to say a massive thank you to every single one of you. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. It's really important. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you fancy checking out more of our Arsenal content, which we are bringing you daily at the moment, then make sure you check out the membership scheme as well, and you can help support. I think I'm probably going to leave the review show until tomorrow morning, just because I want to do it with a calmer head, and to be honest, I've got a Saturday evening off for once in my life, so I'm going to, I think, go and put my feet up and try and get over it a little bit. But thank you all so much for joining me. As I said, my prediction was spot on. Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. We'll be back very soon. Cheers.
You're listening to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast.
I'm Martin Tyler, and you're listening to Harry Symeou.